It's not interested in engaging with anything complicated about the experience of being a woman. It's not interested in saying anything new. And it's not interested in actually having a perspective or an actual take on feminism besides
women can do anything.
Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Carly, and today we are talking about a moment in history. I feel as though it's very rare to know and be conscious of the fact that you are living history as you are living it. Is that a sentence that makes sense? Doesn't matter, it's my channel. I can speak gibberish if I want to. All that's to say is we are talking about Katy Perry's new song, Woman's World, today. It's 2024. Katy Perry, queen of pop music of the 2010s, has decided it's time for a comeback. And it's time to bring feminism to pop music, something previously not done by anyone. Originally, this was going to be a deep dive into Katy Perry's entire oeuvre, but I really wanted to focus on the insanity that is Woman's World. I had only really read articles before I started researching for this video about the song, and then I listened to it and I watched the music video, and holy hell. So we're just going to get into it. I'm going to walk you through a bit of kind of like the past of Katy Perry, and then just really walk you through the music video and song, and then tell you what I think about it, why I think it's shallow. And let's say a disclaimer, if you like this song, girl, good for you. Okay, I am not the arbiter of taste. I like things that are horrible sometimes, right? So if this song does something for you, do not let little old me stop you. And also, I just want to say Katy Perry's fine. Like, she is so rich. You know what I mean? She's good. She's good. And I am a fan of her past songs, okay? This song is bad. And we need to accept that and be honest about that. I think that's, as a society, what we owe to each other after these last couple of years, okay? So chapter 1, a history of Katy Perry and recession music. I think it's important to provide context for who she is, because once we know where she's coming from, we can understand how she got here to this
abomination of a song,
some might say. Chapter 1, Teenage Dream and the 2010 Great Recession. It's kind of impossible to overstate the chokehold Katy Perry had on songs of the 2010s. If you don't know, and I'm honestly so happy for you if you don't, like nothing but love and light to you, we experienced what was called the Great Recession in 2010, in which the like an unprecedented like economic recession happened. Okay, vibes were bad. It was strange to be a child during this time because you didn't really know it was happening, but like you knew it was happening. And I bring up the Great Recession not because it's one of my favorite topics to talk about, but also because it really affected what kind of music was popular at the time. Music now, it's very much like we're in like the 70s, where we are experiencing economic unrest and political upheaval and all these things, but it's like feeding art, and people are writing about their lives and the situation in the world, and it's feeding like very, very interesting art. This is more like the 50s. The 2010s were the 50s in the sense that things were not well. They're coming out of World War II. And we need escapism. We don't want to engage with high art about the struggles of being a human. Some people probably did, but I'm talking about the popular culture, right? It was all escape. It's like it was Kesha, Pitbull, Katy Perry. Every single song would be like a woman singing a chorus and then a rapper, but like we're not talking about Kendrick Lamar. It's like a man you've never heard of before raps a verse that's just about how, oh, we're partying.
Tonight's the greatest party. It's the last night of our life, and we're going to Times Square, and we're gonna take a picture with a Kodak camera, and we're gonna dance and party because this is the last night of our lives.
You know what I mean? And as a child, who knows how that affected my brain? But that was the music of the time, and Katy Perry was the queen of it, okay? Teenage Dream released in 2010. This was produced by Dr. Luke. We're going to get more into Dr. Luke as we talk about Woman's World because it is also produced by Dr. Luke. I'm trying to think of a way to say this. I don't think I'll get sued by Dr. Luke, but hey, famous last words, right? Never say never. Trying to get out of 2024 unsued, and we'll see what happens there. Dr. Luke allegedly, allegedly, abused and assaulted Kesha while they were working together. He's a pop music producer and bad guy. At the time of 2010, I don't believe these allegations had come out against him. So she didn't know at that time. She knows now, Katy. Katy Perry knows now, which is a problem. But what is a song about feminism if it is not produced by a predator, right? An alleged predator. Not this time, Dr. Luke. You're not going to sue me. So Teenage Dream is obviously the song that the Warblers eat up in Glee season 2. But more importantly, it is also an album by Katy Perry. It's really hard to if you weren't there to make you understand how crazy this album was. It had 5 #1 singles. Just like on the same album, 5 #1 singles. Every feels like 4 months, a new Katy Perry song would like come out, even though it was from this album, and you would hear it for the next 4 months, every waking moment of your life on the radio. That's kind of insane. I think it tied Michael Jackson's Bad for like the most #1 singles on an album. We don't have time to unpack Michael Jackson. We don't. Yeah, so it had Teenage Dream, California Girls featuring Snoop Dogg, E.T., Firework, and Last Friday Night. A killer's row of pop songs to help you forget about the fact that we are in an unprecedented financial recession, right? On all of these songs, they're not hyper personal. And critics at the time kind of noted that. And these are allegations that Katy Perry has been really trying to outrun for the rest of her career, of being like, these songs are great, they're fun pop songs, they are escapism, but they're not really personal. And they are, I don't want to say empty because it sounds like negative, but they aren't really about stuff. Teenage Dream is being like, oh, we're together and you make me feel like a teenager again and like so hot. When we're together, it makes me feel good. And also, let's have sex. Let's go all the way tonight. No regrets, just love. And then California Girls is about how girls in California are hot. Firework is being like, believe in yourself. What is E.T. about? Right. It's kiss me, kiss me. Right. Okay. So yeah, just being like, you're so different and weird, but I love you. And then Last Friday Night is being like, we had a crazy party last night. Like, we're not talking about deeply personal experiences, but that doesn't mean that songs aren't important or, what people want at the time. But it was a criticism. I mean, we're really trying to outrun the misogyny allegations in life. Every single year, it feels like we look back 5 years ago and we're like, yikes, right? But at the time, this was a big criticism, and I think Katy Perry's been trying to overcome that. Has it been successful? I don't know. But we loved her. She had Left Shark. She had a bra that was whipped cream cans that shot them. She was a silly kind of Christian girl gone bad, helping us forget about the fact that your parents are fighting upstairs because of the mortgage. You're playing Wii Sports bowling. She was doing the Lord's work at this time. I bring this up because Woman's World is very much a comment on this era. These songs are, some would argue, kind of like frivolous and empty and just kind of like empty words and very vague. I don't think that undoes the validity of them. I love pop music. Like, I think it's so good. But these were criticisms she got at the time, and I think she's trying to comment on them. Bo Burnham has like a comedy song that's called Kill Yourself, and it's basically a comment on Firework. There's a lot of jokes, and she was parodied a lot on like SNL and by other comedians for being like, oh, she just wears like crazy costumes and says like,
yo, you go, girl, woo.
There was also a lot of criticism about the way in which she sexualized herself and her body. People being like, she is not a good Christian role model for young women because she's wearing a bikini, because she's spraying whipped cream from her bikini bra, things like that. Okay, so all of these things, I want you to hold that, because when we get to what Woman's World is, I want you to remember that, okay? Because it is really her trying to be like,
I've learned.
And I would say, I don't know if I want her to learn. Like, I just want fun music. I just want fun, good music. Like, I don't need everything to be like a meta commentary on your career, but that's just me. I want to dance and feel good, which is also important, I would argue. I want to feel happy, have escapism from my real life. I don't know if I want like important work from Katy Perry. I don't know if I want like her to make a comment on life as a whole. I don't know if that's what I want. Before we go into the next chapter, I'm going to read to you all of her albums, the year they released, and the amount of copies sold. Yes, so this is like physical copies. This is like albums bought, not streams. So obviously there's going to be a drastic drop off at the end, because like you're not really buying CDs in the same way you would be in like 2008. But also this drop off is still insane regardless, and the streaming numbers are not good either at the end. One of the Boys is released in 2008. This sells 7 million. Very promising, great. This is like I Kissed a Girl, Hot and Cold. Great album. Is I Kissed a Girl great representation for queer women in the media? No. Is it an absolute banger bop? Absolutely. And if it comes on, I will scream the words. Then Teenage Dream comes out 2 years later in 2010. This sells 12.1 million. Prism comes out 3 years later in 2013, sells 6.7 million. So a little bit less than One of the Boys. I don't know what's on Prism, but I remember it coming out. Oh, this is like Part of Me and stuff. Again, her trying to be very much like,
this is who I am. I'm trying to be confessional.
And we're like, girl, sing a song for Left Shark. I just want that. Then Witness comes out in 2017, sells 600,000. So doesn't crack a million. And Smile, this clown album, comes out in 2020. I didn't know she even released an album in the pandemic that sells 63,000. So that's not a lot. I mean, it's a lot for me. If I release an album and I sold 63,000 copies, it would be the most iconic moment of my entire life. But I am not Katy Perry. Katy Perry, I am not. One thing I will say about Witness, because I do know that a lot of people say, like, I'm in my Witness era, to basically be like, you're in your flap era, you're failing. On the album Witness, there is a song called Never Really Over that is so good. It is so good. And I've had several conversations with different friends being like, kind of like shameful, where people will be like, you know what song is actually really good? Never Really Over by Katy Perry. Listen to Never Really Over and tell me this is not what you want from Katy Perry. It is so good. All that's to say, you go from in 2010 selling 12.1 million copies to in 2020 selling 63,000 copies. Miss Katy Perry wants a comeback. And if Miss Katy Perry wants a comeback she will have. We're going to the next chapter. But I do just want to say that also she was doing a residency at Vegas at the time that I think was doing really well. Like, she was just singing her hits. I bring this up because I think this is the Katy Perry route, because she has bangers, bops. She can really tap into the nostalgia, because for a lot of people, like, her music was the 2010s. And she's a performer, and she's weird, and she really has like these massive costumes and set pieces. I think she should just tour the hits and people will enjoy that. That's not really what she wants. And also on this residency in Vegas, she sang with a big poop. I'm not kidding. She just sang with a poop. Okay. That's what that is. So let me walk you through the song and music video for Women's World. The album cover, she's kind of, it seems like she wants to really do I was going to say Carly XCX. That's my name. The Charlie XCX kind of like potty go, brat, grunge. Fuck.
I'm wearing last night's makeup and my eyeliner is smudged and I love cigarettes kind of vibe.
Okay. I don't know if this feels authentic to Katy Perry. The song is bad. So there's two parts to this music video. And I want to say this because later on, Katy Perry is going to claim that because this is bad, it's satire. And I want to say it's not. No. You can't just fool me. Things that are bad just aren't satire. I can't just draw a bad drawing and be like, oh, it's actually a satire on art. No, be real right now. So the music video opens up on a bunch of women in like bikinis and heels and like little tool belts and stuff. And they're on like a beam, like a steel beam, as if they're doing construction in the sky. It's very much like that those Empire State Building, when they're building it, those photos of like black and white men. They're not black and white. Well, it's the photo is black and white. And Katy Perry's doing Rosie the Riveter. Yes. Feminism. Women can do construction. Okay. So that's what we open up on. And then Katy has like, she's drinking whiskey that says whiskey for women. It's like a comment on like the commodification of feminism. It's got like live, laugh, love font, whiskey for women. And then she's also holding like I don't even know what the stick is, but it's like some kind of other, like maybe it's a back scratcher for women or something like that. Looks like a vaudevillian kind of cane that they use to pull people off stage. And they're like, whoa, but it's not that. Vibrators come up later. A bunch of stuff that's just basically like,
to be a woman is to have stuff commodified. Not this music video though. Keep watching. Not the music video and the music. The music video and the music is fine. It's not that. It's very different. It's actually very different.
Then all of the women who are construction workers are pissing at urinals. I think a big problem I have with this music video is it's like very 2012 feminism. And I don't know if that's the point. I don't know if that's the satire Katy Perry is referring to, because it's like gender and sex are equated to be the exact same thing. It's like,
I want to piss at a urinal. And genitalia defines exactly what your gender is. And you can't escape it. Live, laugh, love.
So they're pissing at a urinal. Then they start dancing. It is fun. It's obviously overtly sexualized. And I do think that's like the comment, like being like, oh my God, remember when my music videos used to be like me naked and dancing? But like, you're still doing it. Does that make sense? Like, it's not obvious enough and you're still doing it. I have no problem with women and people in general being they're in control of their own sexuality and finding agency in their body and their own sexuality. I think that's great. The vibe I'm getting from this is not that, especially because this music video is produced and written by men. So like that doesn't have the same kind of like kick if like it's an entirely women team and they're like, oh my God, like let's comment on that, it might be more nuanced, but also in a way like more obvious, if that makes sense. This is just very heavy-handed being like,
we're all overly sexualized. Haha, isn't that funny? Isn't it funny that we're overly sexualized? It's irony.
and you're like, right, but you are just doing it. It's very much like, this is not my theory. There was like a video essay I watched forever ago about the Big Bang Theory. You know how sometimes you just see a video on your like homepage and you're like, well, gotta watch that. And they talk about how in the Big Bang Theory, they'll have characters say a racist joke and they'll be like, well, it's fine because the joke is that it's racist. Like, we're not agreeing with it. The character is being racist. But because nobody is being like reprimanded and nobody in universe is commenting about the joke itself being racist, and the character is a hero in the story, is a main character, it's not the irony and the satire you're looking for, babe. And that's very much this Woman's World music video. There's a close-up shot of her just like clapping her breasts together, which is, if she wants to do that, girl, go for it. And all these women dancers just being very, very sexualized and dancing in basically bikinis and tiny shorts. And I understand that you want to comment on your old music videos, which did sexualize women and yourself, but you're just doing the thing that you're trying to comment on. It's not a comment and it's not satire if you just do the thing you're commenting on. Do you know what I mean? Like, it can't be like,
Me having blonde hair is a comment on people with blonde hair.
it's like, girl, you just have blonde hair. But yeah, they have like red light masks and this massive kind of vaudevillian cane thing. I think it's a sex toy. And being like, use discount Katy Cat, like being like, we're commodifying feminism. And it's funny because she's making a comment on commodifying feminism while posting a music video and promoting an album. And on the music video, ads are running so that she can collect her check. And on the album she's selling, she can also collect her check. So it's funny because it's about feminism and the commodification of feminism, but it's actually just the commodification of feminism. Then she gets held at gunpoint by vibrators, whatever. So this all happens, and then an anvil, I'm not kidding, an anvil comes down from the sky and squashes her. So she gets squashed by this anvil, okay? And that's the end of the first part of the video. So the whole comment that she said when people were like, this music video is bad, is she's like, you silly, silly girl. It's not bad. It's satire. And no, but what the comment is, the first part of the video is satire on her old stuff. She gets hit by an anvil. It's a reset. She's the new Katy Perry. And would you believe that the second part of the video also makes no sense? She's like flat stand lead, and then she has metallic horse legs. But to my point, and this is fine, if you are in control of your own body and loving your own body, go for it. But she's still in a bikini, but she just has metallic horse legs. Again, if you just want to be in a bikini for your music video, go for it. But if you're trying to make a comment on sexualizing women and being like, haha, I used to sexualize myself, but now I have robot horse legs. It's like, girl, just own it. Just, if you love your body, and she looks awesome. Just be in a bikini. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, just be in a bikini if you want to be in a bikini, but don't be like, I'm actually commenting on the sexualization of women because before, when we were in jean shorts, it was bad. But now, because I have horse legs, it's actually feminism. And I'm like, I don't know if it is. She also puts gasoline into her ass. She like goes to a gas station, gets the gas pump, puts it into her ass as if she's gassing up. I don't know what this is a comment on. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no clue what this could possibly be referring to. Then Trisha Paytas shows up. I know what you're thinking. Okay, who's a feminist icon we need to have in this? Gloria Steinem, Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison is dead, right? She's dead. Yes. Okay. But you know what I mean? There are iconic feminist icons you can have in your music video about feminism and a reset. I don't know if Trisha Paytas is, you know, the pole you wanna hoist your sails upon to make a feminist comment. I can't believe this. So Trisha Paytas is coming in, she's hauling a monster truck, like she's pulling a monster truck with a giant rope, and then they get in the monster truck and drive, and Katy, because of humor, puts like lipstick and stuff, like she can't, like she her makeup because she's in the car. I was gonna comment being like, this is a kind of humor that I just do not like. But that's rude and mean. And there's nothing problematic about being kind of goofy. I've just been irony pilled, right? So do what you need to do. Again, on the back of the truck, you know how sometimes people have on the back of their trucks like hanging balls, like silicone? Comment in the comments below what you say. Silicone balls, right? They've put a little beaded uterus. Because a uterus is what women have, and no other things, nothing else. And I refuse to engage with any other arguments. I'm half expecting J.K. Rowling to be hauling a separate monster truck with her thing. Monster truck, and it's just full of the TERFs and the feminists who claim feminism with zero intersectionality. A party bus of horrors, if you will. So then I feel like the people who were writing the music video were like, oh, right, like Katy Perry is doing a music video about feminism. We haven't engaged with like the plight and how much harder it is to be a Black woman or to be a queer woman or with trans people because we don't want to touch that. We don't want to do intersectional stuff. We just kind of want her to like have horse legs, right? Like she puts like gas in her horse ass, right? Like that's fun. So then Katy Perry goes up to a woman who's doing a TikTok dance. The woman is Black. What does her shirt say? It's like the future is female, feminine divine. So I think that's the name of the album. And the woman is doing a TikTok dance, and then Katy starts doing the TikTok dance too. So you too can do the TikTok dance at home. So Katy Perry just kind of like steals her dance moves, does them, takes this woman's tripod and phone and gets in a helicopter and flies away. She just robs this woman and then flies away in a helicopter. The woman's like, who are you? Because she wants to file a police report because she's been robbed in broad daylight by horse legs Katy Perry. Insane. The lyrics themselves, I mean, listen, Katy Perry's older songs don't have like necessarily like lyrical masterfulness, but I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. Brat by Charlie XTX is like an amazing album that is not super lyrically complex, but still communicates like really complex, specific feelings and situations. That's not necessarily what we're doing here. I mean, again, remember, Dr. Luke, creep, alleged creep, but we know, right? Like, produce this. So like how much feminism can you really claim to actually believe when you're monetarily benefiting from the commodification of feminism, which you claim to hate so much? Like she's also going to sell merch for this that says like feminine divine and whatever. And when the song itself is produced by Dr. Luke and the music video itself is produced and written by men, you're telling me you couldn't tack one woman writer onto this? So the verse one is sexy, confident, so intelligent, she is heaven sent, so soft, so strong. Pre-chorus, she's a winner, champion, superhuman, number one. She's a sister, she's a mother, open your eyes, look around, and you'll discover. And then the chorus is, it's a woman's world, and you're lucky to be living in it. It's a woman's world, and you're lucky to be living in it. You better celebrate, because baby, we ain't going away. It's a woman's world, and you're lucky to be living in it. Again, imagine destroying your career because you gotta work with Dr. Luke and then the song is bad. Like, you shouldn't do it anyway. You could not torture this information out of me. You know what I mean? Like, you could not at gunpoint force me to work with Dr. Luke. Not that he's asking, but you know what I mean? But to do it and the song sucks? Evaluate. Verse 2, fire in her eyes, feminine divine. She was born to shine, to shine, to shine, yeah. She's a flower, she's a thorn, superhuman, number one. She's a sister, she's a mother, the two things women can be, sister, mother, or I guess superhuman. Open your eyes, just look around and you'll discover. And then it's women's world, whatever, right? Okay, again, I don't think that lyrics need to be incredibly complex to be really good, right? Like, that's not what we're like. And I also don't even think a song needs to be about something super, serious to be good too. I bop to Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. I love that song. And that song's just being like, that's that me espresso, whatever. Like, but it's fun. It's interesting. It's like just a bop. It makes you feel good. Whereas like this song is serving up 2012. I was going to say pussy hat feminism, but it feels even pre-Women's March. It's just being like,
women can do anything. Anything you can do, I can do. Bleeding, chin up, princess, queen, slay, girl boss, boots the house down, your crown is falling, notorious RBG.
But even then, I'm like, this music video doesn't know who Ruth Bader Ginsburg is, like one of the most basic 2012 tenets of feminism. It's not interested in engaging with anything complicated about the experience of being a woman. It's not interested in saying anything new. And it's not interested in actually having a perspective or an actual take on feminism besides,
women can do anything.
You don't need to do any of those things, but when you put forth a music video and a song that's like, women's world, I love feminism. Feminism is a thing that's going to be my brand and I'm going to benefit monetarily from it. Have a new take, girl. Or release Firework 2.0 because I don't want, like, you don't need this. And I think that's where this fails on like a molecular level, because it's not as if music today coming out by all of these new fun and pop girlies is inherently like political. They might be political people, but like Chapel Roan, the song that's on the radio that's like blasting everywhere, Good Luck Babe, is not about anything super political. It is about like compulsive heterosexuality, but really it's about like pain in a relationship when you're dating a woman and she's denying what you're experiencing. Sabrina Carpenter, it's like begging her boyfriend not to embarrass her and saying that's that me espresso, and we're all happy to be there, you know? Like Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, all these things, they're definitely very personal, which I think is where this also fails. I do not know what Katy Perry thinks about feminism beyond her two eyes turning into dollar signs when she sees it. But like we have a lot of pop girlies right now who are creating very like fun songs that are about personal things, and we're not getting that from this song at all. Which brings me to chapter 3, Throw Pillow Feminism and Dr. Luke. I feel like I've already said this because I can't shut up about it, but you cannot write a song about feminism and then have the person producing it be Dr. Luke. A person who, another pop girly who came up around the same time you did, if not a little afterwards, has claimed the anguish and trauma he has caused her and claimed that he has abused her. Like, it is insane. And to not comment on it at all and think that your audience and the public at large is going to ignore it is wild. Like, if you're going to do evil stuff, own it. Like, own the fact that you're being an opportunistic person who cares about money over actual ethics. I don't know. It's wild to me. This is like me writing an anti-gulag song and then having Joseph Stalin promote it. Like, anyone else, girl, pick anyone else. Especially if it's Woman's World, you would think that you would try and get a woman producer. You would think, right? Because it's a woman's world. And you're lucky to be living in it. By the way, you're trapped in the recording booth with a predator. Because Katy Perry needs a comeback, girl. Also, it just doesn't say anything. It's very obvious she's like, okay, Gen Z loves ethics and politics, so let me get in there. What I think she should do, again, if she doesn't want to do the just like nostalgia route, y'all remember that Adele interview where she was like, well, everybody started making music for the TikTok generation, and I was like, oh, well, no one's making music for me, so I'll just write music for me and the people that are my age. And like, Adele's doing fine. You know what I mean? Like, Adele's doing good. Why can't you just write music for the people that grew up with you, that are your age, that you enjoy? Why does everything need to be targeted towards Gen Z? It feels insincere. The horse imagery, the robot horse legs, I'm like, why? Doesn't really make any sense. The album's called Feminine Divine. This song's called Woman's World. Why are you a horse? It's not called Horse Divine. Horse's World. I wish it was. I feel like that'd be actually really interesting. And Katy Perry is weird. Like, she sang with a giant poop. It's not like she doesn't have ideas of her own. She just doesn't trust them enough. And she's like, well, you know whose ideas I do trust? A crime. And again, just in general, we talked about this before. We're retreading a bit of old ground. But like, it's incredibly empty. It makes these comments about feminism and about misogyny, but does nothing to undercut them. It says overconsumption and the commodification of feminism is bad. And you go, okay, Katy, what did you do to stop it? Because, you know, like, not everyone's perfect, but Billie Eilish is like, climate change is bad, and I'm not going to produce 9 different versions of records to force people to overproduce. You know, there are people out there who are making changes and using their money because they are incredibly wealthy, or their power because they are incredibly powerful to change things, right? All of Lord's merch is expensive but incredibly high quality because it is actually made ethically and it lasts a long time. The over-commodification of feminism and overconsumption is bad, Katy. What have you done to change it? Because all you're doing is commodifying feminism through your album. You're going to sell merch because of this. You're going to go on tour and it's going to be called like Rosie the Riveter Slay Tour, bestie. Like, and you're not engaging with intersectionality in any of these ways as well. So I don't actually think you have an interest in feminism. I think you have an interest in benefiting from it. But love that. Also, the male gaze and over-sexualization is bad, but then you just do that in this video. And you can't say that it's satire, because yes, it happens in the beginning of the video. I've talked about that, though. You're just doing the thing you're commenting on without saying it's bad. You're just being like, isn't it funny that we're doing this? But then in the reset, that's supposed to be actually like your real beliefs and feminist reset, women are still in bikinis. And again, I'm there if you want to own your body, but that is a complicated conversation that this music video is not having, you know? Like, you're just like making somebody's be naked is bad. But if they have horse legs, it's actually activism. And again, like, we've been around Katy Perry in the media for a long time, where if she had dedicated so many years of her life to actual feminist causes and trying to help women in developing countries, or stop things like sex trafficking, or trying to help women who are in sweatshops, or literally anything at all in this time that has been overly publicized, because I can't think of anything. The only thing I can think of is when she voted for Rick Caruso for LA mayor and posted about it, which is also just her being like, I'm rich and I would like to not pay taxes. Okay, finally, chapter 4, doing your job poorly isn't satire. We talked about this again, but when this video came out and the song came out and everyone was like, oh no, the song is bad. Oh, the song is bad. The song's bad. She was like, oh my God, silly baby, silly, stupid baby, you stupid dumb. You're so dumb. It's satire. She posted a video on her Instagram that's still up of her while she's filming the video being like,
It's satire. It's stupid. We're making fun of it. We're just being very sarcastic.
and it's like when all the dancers are in the construction wear, very sexualized, she's like,
It's a joke because we're being like, we're feminists, but the video isn't.
and you're like, yeah. No, exactly. So explain why that's satire. Like, I understand how you could have something where it's like the first part of the video is this very overly glossy, very high, like,
we can do anything. Women are powerful.
all this stuff, and then have that anvil hit her, and then have the second part of the video actually say anything about feminism. Maybe it's like documentary footage or news footage about horrors happening to women all throughout history and now, or something like that. But it's not that. You just have horse legs and Trisha Paytas drives a monster truck. You're not making enough of a comment in the second part of the video to undercut and undermine and make a comment on the first part. So no, doing your job poorly is not satire. Failing to have nuance, somehow being heavy-handed but not saying anything at all is not satire. Like, I hate when people do this. It drives me insane, and I want this to be like comedy video, ha ha ha, we're reacting. But I hate when people are like, oh, it's actually satire. It's like me getting in a car crash and being like, it's satire on driving bad. It's like, no, it's just bad. You made a mistake. It's not satire if the song is produced by somebody who is allegedly a threat to women. It's not satire if you're talking about how women are sexualized under the male gaze and the creators of the music video are all men sexualizing women. It's not satire if you're like, ha ha ha, the song is so empty and so many songs about feminism are empty, and then the song is empty. It's just the truth, babe. It's just the truth. So that's really everything. I feel like I should stop before I pop a blood vessel in my eye. I want to say that I do think Katy Perry is a good artist. Like, just make good music, babe. Like, just give me Never Really Over, part 7. I want that song 900 more times. Just do some pop music. Don't work with Dr. Luke. Work with women. Like, I don't know. Work with Jack Antonoff, even if you're not going to work with women. I don't know, just not with Dr. Luke. It's pretty easy. Like, it's pretty simple. It's not hard to not work with a predator. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't do it. And you have the power and the influence and the money to do that. If you want to work with an up-and-coming woman producer with your fans and the eyes that are getting on your music, you have the power to do that, but you've chosen not to. And Katy, please do that. Like, just do that. That's really everything. You can listen to my podcast, or my Instagram is in the description below. You can't really listen to that, but you can look at it, whatever. All my stuff is in the description below. I've been Carly, and I guess I'll just leave you with satire is not just doing something bad. You can't just do something bad and be like, it's satire. Bye.